Dream of the Red Chamber Chapter 28.
The scene is just set up perfectly. Linda Yu, she's already nursing a grudge from the night before.
A misunderstanding.
A total misunderstanding. A maid wouldn't open the door, and she wrongly thinks her beloved Baoyu is behind it. But she doesn't confront him.
No, she internalizes it.
Yeah.
And she projects all that pain onto, the sadness of spring ending.
Which takes us right to the poetic heart of the scene. She's out there burying fallen flower petals.
This whole ritual of mourning for beauty.
And she delivers the line that just sets the whole emotional clock ticking.
Others may laugh at my burying flowers, but who'll bury me someday? I mean, that is just such a raw expression of fragility.
It really is. It's the ultimate statement on, how temporary everything is. And what's so fascinating is that Dayu is talking about herself, but Baoyu, he's nearby on a hillside, and he overhears it.
And he takes it way beyond just her fate.
Oh, much further.
So let's unpack his reaction, because it's more than just sadness, right? He is so moved by this poem about death that he physically collapses.
He tumbles down the hill. He scatters the flowers he was holding. It's not just an idea for him. It's a physical breakdown.
And this is where we really get into the philosophy, because his dread just expands into this universal despair.
Exactly. If Dayu is going to vanish, then so will Bachai and Xiangling and everyone.
So if everyone he loves eventually becomes, quote, unsearchable, then what's the point of his own life? The garden, the house? It all becomes meaningless.
Destined to belong to who knows who.
Yeah. This feels like more than just teenage angst, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When the text says he wants to escape from great fate and get out of the dust net, that's not just poetry.
No, not at all. It connects him immediately to the transcendental streams of Taoism and Buddhism that you see all through the novel.
Right, the whole philosophical underpinning.
Exactly. Tao de Zhao means to escape the great cycle of creation and decay. And the dust net, the Chu Ten Wang, that's about leaving the messy mortal world behind for monastic life.
So he's looking for the ultimate spiritual exit ramp.
All because his crush is sad about dead flowers. It's so Baoyu.
And what I find so compelling is that this massive spiritual crisis is immediately cut short by some very high-stakes interpersonal drama.
Yep. Before he can reach enlightenment, Dayu spots him.
And just delivers the ultimate insult, calling him a heartless, short-lived person.
And then just walks away. That phrase, Henshin Duan Mingde, it's so loaded. It's an attack on his character, his very life.
And for Baoyu, who is terrified of being seen as insensitive, that silent dismissal is just, he can't handle it.
No way.
So he chases her, and he raises the stakes so dramatically, promising he'll let go of their whole relationship forever after just one last sentence.
He's forcing the issue. He's trying to make her see how deep their connection is by threatening to cut it completely.
And that one sentence is really the core of it all, isn't it? Since we have today, why did we have the beginning?
It's heartbreaking, such an accusation of futility. If it's all going to end in pain like this, why did we ever get so close?
And he just launches into his defense, reminding her of their unique intimacy. Shared a bed, shared meals.
He anticipated her needs. He protected her from the servants. He paints this picture of this perfect, almost sibling-like bond they had.
But then he turns the knife. The reason he's crying, he says, is because she's grown up and now she favors outsiders.
And he names them. He specifically calls out Sister Bao Chai and Sister Feng. He feels abandoned for his rival.
And what's amazing is that this dramatic, almost self-pitying performance, it actually works.
It does. Dayu sees he's genuinely distraught, and she's moved to tears herself.
Which finally allows her to admit the real petty reason for her anger, the closed door.
It's the truth that sets them both free. Baoyu fiercely denies it. Swears he'd die on the spot if he'd ordered the door shut. He says only Bao Chai visited.
And Dayu has this instant realization. She misjudged him. It was just the lazy maids.
The misunderstanding is resolved, but the tension is still there.
It really is. The love triangle comes right back in her parting shot. She tells him to teach the maids a lesson, but then adds this little barb.
Yeah, that offending her is one thing, but offending Sister Bao or Sister Bai would be a much bigger problem.
So what is she doing there? Is she testing him?
I think it's a bit of both. It's classic Dayu. She can't resist reinforcing her own insecurity. By naming Bao Chai, she's reminding him, I see the competition. I know your attention is divided. It's a kind of emotional self-defense.
Brilliant. Okay. Now we have to make that really tricky transition. We've had this philosophical collapse, this emotional turmoil. How do we get from that hillside drama to the dining room?
Well, in this world, emotional turmoil is physical illness. These characters are constantly getting sick because of their feelings. The novel makes the link for us by just shifting scenes to the dining room with Lady Wang. It grounds the abstract sickness in the very tangible world of aristocratic health management.
So the scene starts with Lady Wang asking Baoyu about her doctor's medicine, and Baoyu just dismisses it as so-so.
And who swoops in but Baoyu playing the expert diagnostician?
Of course. He declares she has an internal condition and needs to upgrade from a simple broth to tonic pills.
He's trying to be helpful, but you can tell he's also showing off his exclusive knowledge.
And Lady Wang tries to help, but she can't remember the name of some pill. She only remembers the word jin. Thunderbolt.
And Baoyu just jumps on that for a classic bit of irreverent humor. He laughs and says if there's a Chingang pill, there must be a Pusa powder, a Bodhisattva powder.
He's turning these sacred Buddhist figures into brand names for drugs. It's kind of funny. It breaks the tension.
But then, once again, it's Bao Chai who brings the intellectual grounding. She steps in and says Lady Wang is probably thinking of the Heavenly King calming the heart pill.
Right. Bao Chai always has the practical, correct answer.
And you can see how the dialogue just lays out the whole love triangle for you, isn't it? Baoyu offers wit and emotion. Bao Chai offers correct, practical knowledge.
But Baoyu cannot let her have the last word.
Never.
He immediately dismisses this common pill and starts boasting about a much better secret formula he has.
A formula that costs 360 taels of silver for the ingredients alone. I mean, that is a staggering amount of money. It's pure luxury.
And this is where we have to stop and really absorb the bizarre details he lists. I mean, these aren't just herbs, they sound like.
They're mythological objects almost.
Yeah. He lists ginseng, shaped like a person with leaves, a giant turtle shell, 1,000-year pine root.
But then he lists the one that it stops the conversation cold. And it should stop us, too. The purple river carriage.
Zihiche.
Yes, which is firstborn human placenta. I mean, it just shows the absolute desperation for longevity among the elite. The willingness to use ingredients most people would find, well, taboo.
I mean, that's just jaw-dropping. We go from a casual dinner conversation to discussing human biological material as medicine.
And even after all that, he claims his main ingredient, the monarch drug he calls it, is so powerful and so shocking he won't even name it.
And that's a key detail, right? The monarch drug concept.
It is. In traditional Chinese medicine, a formula has a hierarchy. The Junyao, the monarch, is the main ingredient. By talking about a secret monarch drug, he's not just boasting about money, he's claiming mastery of this really sophisticated medical philosophy.
All to impress Baoyu and one-up Bao Chai.
Exactly. He says Brothers Yu spent years and thousands of taels to assemble this recipe. It's exclusive, it's rare, it's impossible.
Which brings us to the dark side of this prescription. Baoyu, feeling pretty pleased with himself after that boast, turns to Bao Chai.
Expecting her to back him up on this whole story.
And Bao Chai, ever the pragmatist, just shuts him down, instantly denies knowing anything about it, tells Lady Wang not to even ask her.
And Lady Wang praises her for being honest, which basically leaves Baoyu looking like a total liar.
He's humiliated. He's furious. And Dayu sees it.
Oh, she sees it. And she twists the knife a little, laughing and drawing on her face with her finger, mimicking his shame. The dynamic between them is it swings so wildly.
But wait, here comes his validation. Right when he needs it most, Feng Ji, Aunt Feng, walks in.
And she unexpectedly confirms part of his wild story. She remembers Xu Dej asking her for pearls for this medicine.
And she adds a detail that just makes the whole thing even more bizarre.
It's incredible. The pearls had to be ones that had been worn on a person's head.
So she had to break up 2 of her own expensive hair ornaments and give him the gauze to grind them up with.
Which confirms the huge expense, but also this superstitious belief that the ingredients had to absorb human energy or qi to be effective.
So now Baoyu feels vindicated, and he pushes the story even further. He says the ideal ingredients, the most potent ones,
should come from the grave wrappings in the ancient tombs of wealthy people.
And that's the moment where this quest for health just crashes head-on into a serious moral boundary.
He just casually admits that they settled for jewels worn by living people because they didn't want to actually go out and rob graves.
And just as he's sort of puffing his chest out, Lady Wang's reaction just cuts right through all that bravado.
She's horrified.
Completely. She cries out, "Amitabha Buddha, that's unacceptable. Grave robbing is wrong."
She says even if the medicine worked, it wouldn't be effective if you got it by such immoral means. It's a really vital moment that shows you, even for them, there were lines you just didn't cross.
Yeah, it forces you to confront the sheer extravagance,
Mm.
the almost criminal lengths they consider for longevity. The desperation is its own sickness.
For sure. So as it all winds down, we're left with this unresolved tension. Baoyu, he's used Feng Ji's story to prove he wasn't lying.
But he's still mad at Baochai. He tries to focus on Dayu, but he keeps glancing back at Baochai. The love triangle is right there.
And Dayu, who never misses a thing, just calls him out on it perfectly.
She does. She says to Lady Wang that he's only talking to her because Sister Bao won't cover for his lies, so he's trying to distract me.
She sees right through him.
And this incredible tension is finally broken when a maid comes in and calls them to go eat with Grandma Jia.
Which gives Dayu the chance for a final pointed exit. She just leaves immediately without him.
And says, with his cold finality, he isn't eating. It's a refusal to reconcile.
And yet it's Baochai who started the whole mess by denying his story, who offers the most insightful advice. She tells him to follow Dayu because she's feeling terribly uneasy.
It shows her real emotional intelligence. She gets it.
But Baoyu, he's still stinging from what he sees as Baochai's betrayal, and he just dismisses Dayu's pain.
Never mind her. She'll be fine in a while. This complex knot of jealousy and grief and resentment is just left completely untied. Just after a midday meal,
Baoyu, who's at the center of this whole emotional triangle, he's anxious. He's rushing through lunch, so eager to get out of there that his sisters are actually teasing him about it.
and you can tell his hurry isn't just, random restlessness. He's worried about Lin Dayu. It's his cousin, Bao Chai, who even makes a comment like, "Oh, you must be in a hurry to see Sister Lin."
What does that tell us right away?
It tells you that the tension between Dayu and Bao Chai is so well known that it's just conversational shorthand at this point. Everyone reads Baoyu's actions through the lens of, who is he prioritizing today?
But before he can even escape that emotional pressure cooker, he runs straight into the cold, hard economic reality of the Jia household.
Which brings us to Wang Shifeng, Sister Feng.
Yeah, Sister Feng. And we find her supervising servants moving flower pots, but there's this one detail that it leaps off the page. The source says she's cleaning her teeth with an ear pick.
It's such a fantastic detail, isn't it? It's shorthand for her absolute authority. She is so comfortable in her power. She's doing this kind of menial private task while conducting massive household business. She's the CFO, the COO. She's everything.
And she immediately puts Baoyu to work. Just hands him a list and tells him to write it down.
And this is where we have to slow down because the list itself, the sheer scale, is just staggering.
It is. What is it? 40 bolts of large red satin, 40 bolts of python satin, 100 bolts of top quality gauze, and 4 gold necklaces. And Shifeng offers zero explanation. She just says, "You only need to write it down. I'll understand it myself."
Right, that's not a grocery list.
Yeah.
That's an enormous transaction. This opaque, massive expenditure is what defines her power. She doesn't have to justify it, not even to the male heir. She just dictates.
She really is the engine that keeps that whole aristocratic machine running.
And right after that, she makes a personnel move. So quick. She asks Baoyu if she can take his maid, Hong Yu, or Ariadne.
And this is such a key power move. Hong Yu is sharp, she's ambitious. Shifeng is basically scouting talent from other departments, and Baoyu he agrees immediately.
Which shows his complete lack of interest in the actual logistics of the household. He's like, yeah, sure, take whoever, if it means he can finally get away to see Dayu.
But the sanctuary he's looking for is anything but peaceful. He finds Dayu indoors, trimming fabric, and she is visibly annoyed. The emotional temperature just skyrockets.
And when he tries to show some concern, saying she might get a headache working right after eating, she's so agitated, she literally throws her scissors down.
She is clearly looking for a fight.
Oh, absolutely. And Bao Chai, the rival, walks right into it. She tries to be complimentary, saying something like, "Sister, you've gotten so capable, you can even cut fabric now."
Which sounds nice on the surface, but Dayu just rejects it completely, calls it lying to deceive people. It's a total shutdown of any attempt at sincerity from Bao Chai.
And the conflict keeps flowing through Baoyu. Bao Chai mentions that he was upset earlier because she claimed, ignorance about some medicine.
Yeah.
And Dayu's reply is just ice cold.
Let him be. He'll be fine later. It's like they're using his feelings as ammunition against each other.
You see Baoyu trying to diffuse it, and he makes this classic mistake. He tells Bao Chai, this incredibly sharp woman, to go play dominoes with the matriarch.
He's basically dismissing her, yeah. And of course she's offended. She asks if she only came to play games, and then she leaves, totally insulted.
And that's when Baoyu delivers her most aggressive line yet. As Bao Chai is walking away, she calls out, "You'd better go. There are tigers here. Watch out they don't eat you."
Wow, I mean, that is not a joke. In that kind of formal, noble setting, what is the real weight of calling your rival a tiger?
It's profound. She's not just saying Bao Chai is dangerous. He's calling her a predator, a source of chaos. She's basically saying the emotional atmosphere here is so toxic, it's lethal. Dayu knows Bao Chai is the favored match for Baoyu, and she's being openly hostile about it.
The whole thing just culminates when Baoyu tries one last time to, smooth things over. He asks the maids who told them to cut the fabric.
And Dayu's response is final. "No matter who told me to cut it, it's none of your business." He's been completely shut down.
And as he's being called away, she gets the last, most dramatic word in.
"Amitabha, if you hurry back, I might have died already."
The melodrama is just... It's off the charts. You can see why Baoyu's basically escaping this psychological war zone.
So he finally gets away. He's called to Feng Xing's house. He changes his clothes, which is a big deal. It shows status when you move into the outer court. So he grabs his 4 young servants and gets to Feng Xing's house. And this is where the strict rules of his home just shatter.
They completely shatter. The guest list is incredibly fluid. It's a genuine blurring of boundaries.
You have the nobility Feng Xing and the rich kind of troublemaker Xu Pan.
And they are mixing freely with people who are totally outside that rigid class structure. You have the actor Jian Yuhan who plays female roles, and the courtesan Yuner.
So the lines are really blurred. These performers are kind of like celebrities. Exactly. And the whole vibe changes instantly.
Yeah.
Feng Zhang admits that his whole pretext for the party, all this ominous talk about luck and misfortune, was a total lie.
A fabrication.
A complete setup just to make sure Baoyu and Zhu Pan would show up for a drinking party. There's this, openness to deception in this male social world that's very different.
And the formality just dissolves. Xu Pan, Baoyu's cousin, who is, let's say, wealthy but crude.
That's putting it mildly.
He has 3 cups and just loses all control. Grabs Yuner's hand, demands she sing a new private song for him. He's basically trying to buy entertainment with a jar of wine.
And Yuner, she plays along. She sings this suggestive little song about 2 rivals meeting in secret under a rose arbor. It's all about stolen affection, secret meetings.
It's raw, it's immediate, and it proves Baoyu is right. This is tasteless drinking. It's going to descend into chaos if someone doesn't do something.
And that's why he steps in. Baoyu intervenes because he doesn't want to just get drunk. He wants to maintain this facade of high culture, so he imposes the ling.
A set of incredibly strict formal rules for a drinking game. The goal is to replace, just getting hammered with intellectual performance.
And the penalty for failing is severe. This is what raises the stakes. 10 huge cups of wine and, worse, public humiliation. You have to get up and pour wine for everyone else like a servant.
Wow. Okay, so this is a high-stakes cultural battleground.
It really is. So let's break down the rules of the ling because they are so complex and they reveal so much about what's being tested here.
Okay, lay it on us. How many elements are there?
There are 6, and they all have to connect. First, you have to state the 4 emotions: grief, worry, joy, and pleasure.
Okay, got it.
Second, you have to relate each of those emotions to a daughter, a girl, or a woman.
Right. Third,
you explain the reason for the emotion. Fourth, you drink a door cup to mark the transition. Fifth, you have to sing a popular, fashionable tune.
and
Finally, number 6, you state a wine bottom, which is a phrase related to something on the table, or a classical poem, or a quote from the classics.
that is a massive cultural hurdle to clear on the spot. It demands so much precision, literary knowledge, quick thinking.
Exactly. And you can see how each of them completely reveals their character through this performance. Let's start with Baoyu.
He goes first. How does he do?
He's the pure, sensitive scholar. His whole performance is romantic and melancholic. His grief is youth spent lonely in an empty chamber. His pleasure is wearing thin spring clothes on a swing. It's all literary sadness.
And his song.
Deeply emotional. About longing, tears, separation. He just reinforces that persona. And his wine bottom, based on a piece of pear on the table, is beautiful. Rain strikes the pear blossoms, the door deeply shut. He absolutely nails it.
Okay, so he sets a very high bar.
A very high bar. Then comes Seng Ziying, and his round is an immediate contrast. He's the practical noble. His emotions are grounded in reality. His joy isn't some poetic image. Its first birth yields twins.
Ah, so very material concerns. His grief is husband sick and near death. These are real-world problems.
Precisely. His song is a bit flirtatious, and his wine bottom is a solid classical line. The crowing of the rooster, the moon over the thatched inn. He's competent, educated, but totally grounded.
Okay, so next up is Yuner, the courtesan, and her turn must be just fascinating.
It's one of the most revealing. She has to play within this literary game, but her actual life just seeps into the answers. It's heartbreaking. Her grief is, whom will she depend on in the future? Her worry is, when will the beatings and curses from her mother cease?
Oof. And we get that interruption here, right, where Yu Pan tries to offer her protection.
Yeah, he's still drunk, still trying to buy his way in, and the group just penalizes him for breaking the formality. But Yuner continues, and her song is overtly sexual. This popular tune about an insect trying to get into a flower bud.
The line is something like, little meat heart, if I don't open, how will you get in?
Exactly. And this is where the tension just becomes so clear. You have the classical performance from Baoyu and Feng Ziying, and then you have Yuner bringing in the sexual and social reality of their world.
But it's the next round, Zhu Pans, that just blows the whole thing up.
Oh, it really does. He starts with this long pause. You can tell he can't think of anything poetic. And when he finally speaks, he just goes for crude shock value. His line for grief is, marrying a man who is a cuckold.
And the whole room just bursts out laughing.
But he defends it. He's like, what? It's true. He has zero concept of literary decorum. For worry, he completely falls apart and says, a big monkey jumping out of the embroidery room.
Which makes no sense at all. But Baoyu, weirdly, steps in to save him here.
Yeah, he defends the line just because it rhymes. It shows you how desperate Baoyu is to keep the game going, even if the content is completely absurd.
And then for a second, Zhu Pan almost gets it right. His line for joy, waking up late after the wedding night, it's actually kind of poetic and sensual. It shocks everyone.
For a brief moment, yeah, but immediately ruins it. For pleasure, he says something so explicitly vulgar that the source material doesn't even fully write it out. The text says everyone's calling for his death.
I mean, that is not the literary wit Baoyu is going for.
Not at all. He is the living embodiment of privilege without any education or restraint. He then refuses to sing a real song and invents the humming tune. One mosquito hums, two flies buzz. The whole group just gives up. They let him skip the last part just to move on.
So it's up to the actor, Zhang Yuhan, to restore some order.
And he does. He's a total professional. His turn is completely conventional. His worry is no money to buy osmanthus oil. His joy is lamp wicks forming a double knot. All these traditional signs of a happy home.
He's the polished performer. Safe.
Exactly. He sings a song praising beauty in marriage. And for his wine bottom, he picks up an osmanthus flower and quotes, the fragrance of flowers assails the person, knowing the warmth of day. The performance is perfect. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief.
Until Zhu Pan strikes again, he just can't let it go.
He can't tolerate the peace. He jumps up and declares Zhang Yuhan must be penalized. He says he named a treasure that wasn't on the table.
And Zhang Yuhan is completely lost. What treasure?
Zhu Pan makes him repeat the quote, the fragrance of flowers assails the person. And this is it. This is where the literary game collapses into social catastrophe, because in Chinese, the first two characters of that phrase are pronounced shiren.
Shiren, and Zhu Pan, with his drunken, crude certainty, points right at Baoyu and shouts, Shiren isn't a treasure, she's Baoyu's treasure.
And that's the climax. He has just publicly named Baoyu's favorite, most intimate maid, a girl whose relationship with him is, almost romantic in front of outsiders.
Outsiders like Feng Ziying, an actor and a courtesan. It is a massive, massive breach of decorum.
Baoyu is just utterly humiliated. His whole attempt to elevate the evening with high culture has backfired in the most spectacular way possible, allowing this crude oaf to expose his most private affections to the world.
And Yuner has to quickly explain to everyone that, yes, Shiren is Baoyu's primary maid.
The actor, Zhang Yuhan, immediately apologizes. But it's too late. The damage is done. The intellectual game just became a vehicle for social risk. It proved that no matter how complex your rules are, the raw vulgarity and personal grudges of the players will always find a way to break through.
Right after Baoyu sneaks away, a very surprising and potentially dangerous rendezvous.
The scene setting is just crucial. Baoyu steps away from a respectable party, which, right away shows that core part of his personality. He rejects formality for what he thinks is a genuine connection.
And someone follows him.
Yes. He's immediately followed by Jiang Yuhan, who is an individual that carries, just immense social baggage in this rigid world.
And Baoyu is basically chasing a celebrity encounter here. He's so eager to meet this celebrated actor, Ki-guan. His reputation is just huge. But the source material really highlights his absolute delight when he finds out that Yang Yuhan is Ki-guan. That's his small name.
Right.
The joy is just explosive. He exclaims, which means, what great fortune.
And what's fascinating here is the status imbalance and the risk involved. In this society, actors were, well, they were often seen as low status, even if they were famous.
So for Baoyu, a nobleman, to be seeking one out?
It's deeply compromising. Now, Ki-guan is protected. He's a favorite of Prince Beijing.
Right.
But this whole relationship is just a political fire hazard waiting to happen.
And the risk just immediately escalates with what happens next, a physical exchange. Baoyu, totally charmed, offers a token of their new friendship. Oh. He unclasps this beautiful piece of status jewelry, a jade knot fan pendant, from his sleeve and just gives it to Ki-guan.
A jade pendant is, it's an item of high status. It's valuable, certainly. But Ki-guan's gift in return, it carries 10 times the emotional and political weight. It defines the intimacy of this secret meeting. He gives Baoyu a brand new, large, red sweat towel. A chair.
Wait, a sweat towel? You said it was intimate. Why is a sweat towel so significant?
Because of how it's described. The text explicitly says it's an item used to tie his undergarment, his rianvi. This is an item worn directly against the skin underneath his robes. It's the ultimate token of this visceral, immediate intimacy. This isn't just a handkerchief. It's a piece of clothing linked directly to his body.
And the scarf's backstory is incredible. It's not just any scarf. The source details its provenance. It was a tribute from the queen of the country of scarlet fragrance. I mean, that's exotic, it's rare, it has this almost mythical prestige.
And to compound the political danger, Ki-guan reveals he got the scarf just yesterday from the incredibly powerful Prince Beijing.
Prince Beijing himself.
Yes. And he makes it clear, he says he would never give this item to anyone else. So by accepting this scarf, Baoyu is essentially accepting a token that connects him intimately, if indirectly, to a powerful prince and to a high-status actor, all hidden from his family.
So he takes the prized, scandalous red scarf. He takes off his own pine flower pattern scarf and gives it to Ki-guan. They've exchanged these markers of status and intimacy, but before it can all sink in,
the chaos comes calling.
Exactly.
Zhu Pan, Baoyu's reckless cousin, jumps out shouting, "I've got you!" The secret meeting is almost completely exposed. It requires a quick intervention from Feng Ziying just to diffuse things before the gossip can really start to spread.
So the clandestine moment is suppressed. But the physical evidence, that new scarf is coming home with Baoyu.
And the high drama of that secret exchange might have ended on the road, but the emotional cost that gets paid the moment Baoyu walks through his own door.
Right, and he has to face the one person who sees right through all his deceptions. His trusted maid, Shirin.
Shirin represents a very different kind of intelligence than, Dayu or Baochai. She is the calm, pragmatic eye of the servant class. She's focused entirely on maintaining stability and reputation.
And she notices the missing jade pendant immediately.
Instantly. And Baoyu's clumsy lie that he lost it on the road, it just doesn't fool her for a second.
The real trouble starts when she spots the new scarf. This blood spot-like large red sweat towel tied around his waist.
That color, that size, that function, it tells her basically 9/10 of the truth about the illicit nature of his meeting.
And then the conflict just gets deeper.
It forces Baoyu's recklessness into harsh release when Shirin realizes the scarf he gave away, the pine flower pattern one, was actually her original scarf.
Wait, he gave away his maid's personal belonging? That seems incredibly careless and insulting.
It is the height of aristocratic thoughtlessness. For Baoyu, the scarf is just an object to be swapped in a moment of passion. For Zirin, it's a personal item. It has use and value. She demands it back, and Baoyu, he's full of regret, but he can only promise to buy her a new one.
But her reaction isn't about romantic jealousy.
Not at all.
She's worried about his judgment. She laments his complete lack of prudence, criticizing him for giving away her things to those scandalous people, and says he has shasha.
Literally no calculation in his heart. This is the definitive class critique of Baoyu. He lives in a world of passion and poetry. Zirin lives in a world of social risk and economic necessity. Her priority is self-preservation, and Baoyu's lifestyle threatens her stability.
The sources show Baoyu trying to make it up to her while she's sleeping. He secretly ties that incredibly valuable, highly intimate, politically charged red towel from the Queen of Scarlet Fragrance onto her waist.
It's such a clumsy attempt to share the honor, the intimacy.
And it leads to this phenomenal moment of silent rejection.
It really is. When Jiren wakes up, she immediately undoes it. She doesn't value the item because of its scandalous origins. It's a symbol of Baoyu's lack of prudence.
So
She pointedly throws the tribute scarf, a royal gift, into an empty box. That is a loud, clear statement. She rejects his dangerous lifestyle entirely.
And that domestic drama is immediately followed by a piece of high imperial reality that crashes Baoyu right back down to earth.
Yes. Jiren reports on the distribution of gifts from the Empress Yuan Chun for the Dragon Boat Festival.
Sent via the eunuch Xia.
And this distribution is the ultimate status scorecard. The Empress doesn't just send expensive gifts, she sends 120 taels of silver for 3-day service. For context, 120 taels was an immense amount of money. It signifies overwhelming imperial favor.
But Baoyu focuses on just one detail in the list. He asks why his gifts are identical to Bao Chai's but different from Daiyu's. And that seemingly innocent question just opens up this chasm of political intent.
And the list confirms his fear. He and Bao Chai received matching items. 2 superior palace fans, 2 strings of red musk beads, 2 bolts of phoenix tail damask, and a hibiscus mat. They are paired, item for item.
Meanwhile, Dayu, along with the much younger, unmarried second, third, and fourth sisters,
they received a much simpler selection, just a fan and a rosary. The most valuable items went to the older generation, to the matriarch.
So the implication for you, the listener, is not subtle at all.
Not in the slightest. The Empress, who is Baoyu's own elder sister and a definitive voice of the imperial structure, is using silk and beads to issue a political decree.
It's a memo.
It's a memo. This list, subtly but powerfully, reinforces the social pairing of Baoyu and Bao Chai. It signals higher status and official favor for that match. It elevates Bao Chai and pointedly demotes Dayu.
So this is the imperial establishment formally co-signing the Baoyu-Bao Chai match. It doesn't matter what oath Baoyu just swore or whose intimate scarf he's carrying. The court has weighed in.
Exactly. And this revelation, this tangible evidence of his mandated destiny, immediately pushes Baoyu and Dayu back into their famous cycle of anxiety and argument.
And that's where the gold, jade, and musk tension finally explodes.
It really does. Dayu, already wounded by the list, she weaponizes the very thing that binds Baoyu to Bao Chai, that gold and jade prophecy. She rejects his offer to share his gifts, and she says, pointedly,
That line is just crushing.
It's devastating. Unlike Miss Bao, with her gold and jade, we are just people of grass and wood. She's not just arguing, she's declaring herself fundamentally low status beneath the officially sanctioned match. She's using the prophecy as proof that she is meant to be neglected.
And Baoyu is visibly agitated by this. He feels misunderstood, trapped, and frankly, he probably feels pretty guilty about that scarf tucked away in a box.
Oh, for sure. So he offers the only thing he has left, a vow of ultimate devotion.
And it is an oath delivered from the pit of his soul.
Absolutely. He swears that outside of the 3 elders, the matriarch, his father, and his mother, if he thinks of any 5th person besides Dayu, he demands divine punishment on himself. He wishes to be cursed forever, wishing upon himself, you. That is extreme. He's not just promising fidelity, he's demanding eternal damnation to never be reborn as a human again if he betrays her.
It really highlights the depth of his spiritual bond with Dayu, but also, his desperation to convince her that she is his true destiny, despite all this material evidence to the contrary.
But Dayu, being Dayu, she recognizes his sincerity, but she can't resist pushing it. She keeps teasing him, accusing him of forgetting the sister herself when he sees the older sister, Bao Chai. The tension is just so thick.
And it's all rooted in the fact that Bao Chai herself has been actively trying to avoid Baoyu. This popular expectation that her gold locket should match his jade. It makes her profoundly uncomfortable.
And the identical imperial gifts only make it worse.
It just amplifies the awkwardness of this perceived destiny. And right at this moment, she appears. And Baoyu, maybe trying to deflect, or maybe he's just genuinely curious, asks to see her red musk bracelet, her ho-ha.
And this is where Baoyu's internal war is just fully exposed. As Bao Chai tries to take off the bracelet, he finds himself just staring at at the physical manifestation of her mature beauty, her snow-white segment of soft arm.
The sources note her complexion is exceptionally rich and full.
He's physically mesmerized, and we get direct access to his internal conflict. He secretly wishes that beautiful, tangible arm belonged to Baoyu so he could touch it.
So he's realizing that his spiritual, poetic love for Baoyu is at war with this undeniable, mature physical attraction he feels for Baochai.
Exactly. He truly looks at Baochai, noting her contrasting charm, her face like a silver basin, eyes like water almonds. He is so captivated by her beauty, a beauty that represents stability and status and conformity, that he just stares. He's mesmerized. He completely forgets to take the bracelet she's holding out.
He's just frozen between his two romantic destinies.
That moment of silence, the moment Baoyu is captured by Baochai's material beauty, is the absolute peak of the romantic tension in this chapter.
But the tension is beautifully and kind of comically broken.
It is.
Baoyu enters the doorway. She's witnessed the entire staring contest. She's chewing her handkerchief, laughing at him, and calls him a dumb goose, a C.
And then she delivers the final playful blow, throwing her handkerchief at him, and it strikes him right in the eye. It's this moment of release that brings the whole high-stakes emotional confrontation back down to the level of, passionate, jealous, but still deeply intimate banter.